Well, in Japan it's evening, I should be the one sleeping. Wakey wakey. Shogi time. Are you excited about the next Hulic elimination round 7 game? We have already 3 players decided. Next week will be the last game, and we'll know all the best 4 players. Ta-da! Today we have Seirei-sen elimination round 7 between 2 5 wins players. Both of them have also 1 lose, which means one of them will pass eliminations and the other will fail horribly. Today's fight is Yorimoto Nana Ladies 1-dan versus Nakazawa Saya Ladies 1-dan. And you might not know Yorimoto-san. We used to play in Kenshukai together. We became professional around the same time, and I was really surprised to see her go this far in the tournament. And I thought it will be a nice game to show you guys, because she's doing so well this year. Maybe you should become fan of her as well. And of course we will have Nakazawa. We saw her last game against Nakamura. Marika, she had chance to pass, and this is her last chance to try to become the best 4. The game took place in Kansai Shogi Hall, so in Osaka, on May 29th, starting 10 o'clock. It was 2 hours per player, chess clock, 1 minute Byomi, and the free-goma by being 3 tokens was decided that Yorimoto-san was sente. So this is before the game, Yorimoto 1-dan, this is Nakazawa 1-dan, and this was free-goma. So let's go. So you already see that Yorimoto-san decided on the 4-5 rook. And Gote Nakazawa-san decided on simple Ibisha strategy. And here we have interesting position, 1 move before. You can see that Gote is going for the rapid attack, maybe like this. Gote has no ability to build Anaguma anymore. And in this, you would think, scary moment, Sente is going for Anaguma. If it would be me, I would be afraid, like, you know, Anaguma takes many moves to be finished. So the question is, will Sente be able to finish her Anaguma before Gote's attack? If Sente managed to finish Anaguma, Gote will be in a little bit of trouble. There was comment about this position. There were actually 8 games with the same position before, and unfortunately for Gote, it was 7 wins for Sente and 1 win for Gote. And fun fact, 7 games out of 8 games were played by Kato Hifumi sensei. I see that Demonico is saying that Anaguma is OP versus rapid attack and that he studied Joseki. Well, let's see how it goes. If it's really true, maybe because, you know, now we have the Elmo castle, maybe something changed. Maybe Gote will have more chances. So let's see. So naturally Gote will try to push the 7-4 very aggressive pawn. And Sente goes for the castle. After which, here in this position there were 14 games in this position. 9 wins for Sente and 5 wins for Gote. Maybe Sente is a little more favorable in this position. And there were 3 variations here. One being 5-3 silver, the other 7-3 silver, and 5-2 gold. So I guess by moving this silver, she doesn't seem to go for attack actually. Okay, so let's think. The fastest attack is here, but you can see that the castle would be very weak. So Nakazawa-san chose this silver, which seems more passive way to continue. And after Anaguma's finished, she goes for the edge. And as you see, Elmo castle became to be. So this silver was important here to build this shape. And this silver become a little bit defensive as well. One more thing about this pawn is that it not only goes for the edge attack in the future, it also gives the possibility for Gote to make this attack. So for example, if Sente will take its time to move this gold to the castle, at any time Gote can attack this pawn and force the gold to go back. So this is something that Sente has to keep in mind. Anyways, this gold is very important to go for the castle. Edge pawn, push, silver up, and here 1-5 pawn, allowing future edge attack. As we know, the weakness of Anaguma is that it doesn't have much attacking power. Sente must do her best to find some attack, because she is Sente. She cannot allow Senichite. So she must show some positive aggressive attacks. And in case of 4-5 rook, changing into third file rook at some point is a very good move. You should guys remember. Next, moving the bishop back and allowing 7th file pawn exchange will be a good attack for Sente. Yet Nakazawa-san chose the same shape as she did in the previous game, 6-2 gold with Elmo castle. And here Sente plays 3-6 pawn, and the meaning of this pawn, yeah, natural develop for Anaguma is to push those pawn and maybe move the gold here. In the future, allowing this rook to come here. We will see some similar variation in this game, but generally it has no immediate meaning. Just slow development of the position. So here Nakazawa-san plays 6-4 pawn. As we know, there will be this possibility of attack. And here there was one comment from professionals, because you guys don't know, but Kansai Shogi Hall has many, usually many professionals are commenting, and this game had way too many comments for me to translate, so I choose the best ones. Kansai, generally Osaka, is more talkative than Tokyo. There's many warm people, totally not Japanese style as you would think, very, I would say more European, more American style, like talking and being friendly. So you can see that easily. If there's a game in Kansai area, there is also a lot of comments. So one professional was asked, is the Elmo castle compatible? Is it usable in fight against Anaguma? And professional commented that after making the 4-4 bishop move and the 3-3 knight, going for the edge is one option. It would be a natural development. It would be possible for Gote to continue. Then he was asked, he gave a comment, what is the possible development for Sente? One of which was pushing this pawn, moving this gold, and going for the king's head, as I said before. But the problem is, in this timing, Gote can attack. So it's hard to say which, if 4-6 pawn is good. But if you wanna play another move, what he can think of is only moving rook to 8-8, but since Sente already, like, you know, wasted one move to move it to 7-8, it's not the most comfortable move. Alright, but what did Yorimoto-san do? She, instead of playing 4-6 pawn simply, she moved the silver to 5-6 first. It kinda shows some kind of attack on this pawn, and what Gote did was to protect it using the silver. But as you see, the problem with this move is that it blocks the bishop. So now Sente can safely play the 4-6 pawn. And here Gote moves the 6-3 gold. And the reason is, next, one of the variations that they were talking in the room was moving this rook to here, knight jump, and this would block this counter attack on the bishop's head. So this is one way of Sente to continue. So as you see, this gold is in the proper position to counter this rook as well. So that could be one meaning. The other variation is just going for simple shape. And as previously said, rook going to here and pushing some pressure on this silver here. One more variation they've shown is just going slow, even slower, going for full Anaguma, moving the gold twice to the side. So yeah, Sente has many moves to play, and what Yorimoto-san decided was to move the rook. After the knight jump, she attacked the silver directly. In this position, there was one Shoreikai freedan player commenting that there are three options. One is moving back to here, and next allowing 5-5 pawn. So okay, let me pass. 5-5 pawn, silver going back, and naturally developing the silver to 5-4 square. The other variations he could think about was to go to 3-3, next allowing the silver to join the edge attack. So it wouldn't be a passive silver even if it goes back for a moment. And the worst variation was that after this move, silver 5-5, it wouldn't be taken, silver would go back, and next, as you see, Gote would be in trouble because the silver would be captured. The only two options is to go here or here, and Nakazawa-san decided to go silver 3-3. And this position was already decided to be so like not too bad for Sente. And one example was to move the silver back, silver up, gold up, and then again this rook to 3-8. So also this is interesting, like they don't show any attacking variations on the left side because the gold's here. And for Anaguma, it would be much more interesting if the battle happened in the king's head, right? So this 3-8 rook move seems very important to remember. And the other variation they were showing was to move simply the rook back, then the bishop back, allowing this attack on this line. So what did Yorimoto-san choose? So actually she simply moved the rook back, as in the second variation they proposed. Oh, okay, so there was one more variation that we're talking about, sorry. 4-7 silver, silver goes up, silver goes up again, and the attack. And this way of attacking, for Gote, it would be uncomfortable because the silver would be in trouble. So they were worried that whatever Sente does, Gote has no simple way of attacking here. So yeah, Sente moved rook back, and Nakazawa-san decided to move 5-3 silver. Problem with this move, again, is like, you know, make your castle weaker, but since you will understand, I guess, with the next move, her target was to find a means to attack. Since the rook moved back and the idea would be to evacuate the bishop somewhere, Sente decided to move this lance up to avoid this bishop line in the future. And here Gote decided to attack on 4-4 square. And if you are a relatively strong player, you can already notice that something's a little bit odd with it. Yeah, actually she is attacking from the king, from the castle, which is never a good idea. Naturally, we will take this pawn, silver takes, and Yorimoto-san decided to drop the 4-5 pawn. And here Gote went all in, allowing silver exchange, and pawn took it. Some professional commented that this made this pawn a little bit weaker. Yeah, demonic, next we wanna move the rook there, yeah. So yeah, it made this pawn a little bit weaker, and maybe it was better not to drop it, but as demonic showed us, Sente decided to move the rook to support that pawn. Here professionals were actually commenting on dropping the pawn, but Nakazawa-san decided to move the gold up. And I think in the next 3 moves you will see pretty interesting move. Here naturally Sente moved the bishop back, and Gote decided to indeed drop that pawn. Here Sente played 4-6 silver. The professionals commented that one move before they were not confident for Sente, and seeing this move it made them think of old style shogi. Instead of, you know, going for those crazy variations of exchanges, but going a little bit slower, going for some pressure. And yeah, generally it also makes Anaguma more stable. It's not a bad move. But again, Gote still have the initiative. Gote activated, the first thing she was thinking about was to activate this bishop. So she pushed the 8-6 pawn, which was taken, 6-5 pawn, which was again taken, and 5-6 pawn. Next, allowing this promotion, right? Here Sente will play a nice tesuji, 4-4 pawn. Since you moved all those pawns wanting to promote the bishop, if you take it with the bishop here, what Sente can do is to play this move for free, and after the bishop is promoted, offer the bishop exchange. Well, it's not good, not bad, but Sente played this move for free and the knight was developed, so both sides got something from this exchange. So to avoid that good for both sides exchange, Gote took this pawn with pawn, after which Sente took 5-6 pawn, and here Gote continued attacking with, was it dangling pawn? I think hanging pawn or dangling pawn. The next target is simple, promotion, taking, silver drop on 5-8, forking rook and the gold. So the only way Sente can protect it is with the rook, and here the knight was indeed activated. So the next you can notice that Sente will be able to drop this pawn at any moment, and actually after knight 7-7 professionals were expecting this move to be played. So for example silver takes, pawn promotion, gold takes, there is this drop. So yeah, they were predicting this variation, but what Nakazawa-san played was simply take it, bishop takes, and then drop the pawn, which again cannot be taken by the silver, so gold takes, and knight drop, forking both of the pieces. Bishop moved up, knight promotion, taking the gold, silver retakes, and here you see that Sente is in a little bit trouble, having piece disadvantage. Gote dropped the silver, rook went back. Some professionals were talking about dropping the gold here, but actually after the rook is being taken, silver retakes, makes a 3-piece Anaguma, so maybe Gote wasn't comfortable with that. Nakazawa-san promoted the silver to 6-7, forking 2 more pieces. Here some professionals were proposing like this kind of attacking the rook, rook escapes, silver moves up kind of exchange, but what Yorimoto-san did was drop the pawn to 4-3. Of course you cannot take it because of the knight drop, so Nakazawa-san moved it to her right side, and Yorimoto-san dropped the 2-6 knight, going for counter-attack. So it was still not a simple position, but Yorimoto-san said that after those 2 moves, when her bishop was taken, she didn't feel confident. So we can assume that Gote was a little bit better, but practically speaking, it's still not so easy. So let's see, the silver was taken, 3-5 bishop, and 3-4 knight, next going for 3-8 rook, which would be a good attack. So here's Gote played a Tesuji, 3-7 pawn, blocking the rook before it was moved. It can be taken, and Sente took it indeed with the silver, weakening the Anaguma, and here Nakazawa-san attacked the rook with the bishop drop, after which Yorimoto-san attacked the king directly, and as the Monique said, the 5-5 knight. Actually the professionals were reading for 3 pawn more direct move, or 3-3 pawn, so for example if that would be a position, it would be 1 move faster, right? But maybe Yorimoto-san didn't want to give a pawn, or I don't know why, she simply dropped the knight. Actually what Nakazawa-san read was, even if this gold can be taken, it would be far away from the king, so she decided that she has enough time to counter and attack by 1-6 pawn. After it's taken, you see this attack is very fast. There is no need to defend this gold. More troublesome is actually this square, as we will see. So this gold is not a main actor in this position. After which Yorimoto-san made a direct check on the king, 3-3 pawn. Nakazawa-san took it with the knight, maybe next going for the attack on the edge. Yorimoto-san dropped the 4-3 pawn. And this position will be a crucial one. Here Nakazawa-san decided to move the gold back. We will talk about this in post-game discussion. And the knight head was attacked. So as you see in this position, got the defensive pieces, well, are basically all gone. The gold went back, the knight is to be taken, piece that is directly protecting is the rook. So you can see Gote might be in a little bit of trouble. What she does is taking the rook, which is retaken by the gold, and going for edge attack, hoping that her attack will be quicker than Sente's. After the pawn promotion in the edge, Yorimoto-san took the knight, and the king took it, pawn drop on 3-4, king takes it, and this very nice Tesuji of 2-5 silver. I guess if it's taken you can attack and defend at the same time, so Sente would become more comfortable with the position, so it is not possible for Gote to take the silver. She goes back. And there were many variations in here. One they were talking about was knight takes the token, lance with promotion, like lance retakes and bishop promotion. And maybe this lance would be dangerous for Gote. Therefore, before taking the lance, maybe you can drop the rook to 3-9, forcing Sente to drop 1 more piece in defense. For example, the knight. If we go with the same variation, lance promotes, lance retakes, bishop retakes. Here actually Sente can afford 1 more move to protect the edge. And if Sente would take this silver. As you see, if it's taken, there's a one move tsume. And it seems Sente is losing, but actually there is this dragon king check, a perfect defense. So both of those variations would be good for Sente. What Yorimoto-san played was actually drop the pawn, king goes back, and then take the pawn. In the same variation with the rook drop and taking the silver, you can notice there is no king dragon fork, but this pawn can be thrown away before dropping the bishop, forcing the king to go back, and then again dropping 1-5 bishop, so there is not much harm in dropping the pawn first. Here Nakazawa-san took the knight, Lance retook it, bishop took it. It's very important here for Sente either to have a decisive attack or she has to defend one more move. And what Yorimoto-san decided was actually to go on full force attack with the 2-4 knight drop, which was found with loud shout from the room. Everybody said, "She's strong!" So if the king went back, actually there's some variation with the bishop drop to 4-2. Yeah, it's a little bit long variation, but this is tsume. If it runs away, there is this pawn promotion, right? They were a little bit concerned with 114. Or was it after this move that we were talking about this? Yeah, so the other variation they were talking about was 2-1 king, lance drop, king going to edge, lance promotion, king going up. And as you can see, this is uchifuzume, checkmate by the pawn. So they weren't sure what to do in this position. But actually what Nakazawa-san played was 2-3 king, 2-4 silver up. And if the king would go here, bishop drop. But actually after pawn drop, king going to 1-1 and bishop 2-2. It was tsume and Nakazawa-san resigned. Let's see what was the winning variation here for Sente. So the bishop, maybe let's first talk about the king escapes. Pawn promotion, king takes, lance drop, and lance promotion to 1-1 is checkmate. So the other variation, rook takes, silver takes with promotion, king retakes, and there are many moves, but maybe lance drop, king goes back, rook, and 3-3 pawn promotion is a checkmate. There were only 3 comments in the post-game discussion. Move 84, Yorimoto-san thought that in this position she was bad. She didn't feel good in this position. Move 100. Actually, the gold moving back was probably the worst move because it blocked away the king's escaping route and allowed easy attack for Sente. What Nakazawa-san was afraid, she of course read the move like gold takes and silver drop to 4-1. King takes, knight promotion, and probably continuing the same way as in the game would be difficult, but maybe better. It wasn't clear actually. They also commented about the move 114, and the comment was exactly the same about the rook drop to 3-9, with the conclusion that there would be this fork on the dragon and the king. And also they were talking about this rook drop to 6-9, and instead of dropping a piece you can actually escape the king, and they concluded there wouldn't be a tsume for Gote, therefore Sente would win by 1 move. So it wasn't clear where Gote made the mistake. As we know from the opening, this position was a little bit advantageous for Sente, and in this variation it seemed that Anaguma's strength, the strong position, hold up until the very end, and even though Anaguma had a piece disadvantage, Yorimoto-san managed to get a definite attack on the king's head, with a really difficult endgame of course. So we could say it was an equal fight for both sides. I kinda enjoyed this shogi, this is why I wanted to show you, especially that, you know, Yorimoto-san was playing and she became the best 4. It's pretty amazing for me, because we used to be in Kenshukai together, so I just wanted to share her win and her amazing achievement in this tournament. What I learned from this game is probably that Anaguma is playable in this position. This is something I will keep in mind I also like the silver drop. Like, I wouldn't know what to do with this position, and this was interesting idea to do. But of course, it's not like one side made a big mistakes. It was a very equal game and very enjoyable to watch. So yeah, Yorimoto-san interview with Yorimoto looked like this. She was actually very feeling pressure because she's not used to interviews. She said that she felt pressure before the game, but when she entered the room, she could concentrate and forget about it. See you next week for the last elimination match from Hulic tournament. And have a nice end of the weekend. Goodbye!